Hey everybody, this is Drew,
And it's Blake.
and you're listening to the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 74. Before I get into it, let me go ahead and shoot through our internet presence preamble. You can find us by searching our name on pretty much any social media thing. You got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, Discord. And you can find us also on Spotify by searching the name. But also on Spotify, you'll find the playlist that Drew curates, where he plays all the songs from all the bands that we've recommended thus far. We also want to thank all of our patrons. You can also join that Patreon. It's super simple. Just type our name in on Patreon. You'll find us.
Yeah, I've updated the Patreon a little bit. There's just one tier right now because I don't really have too much to do on it per se, but I do have the main tier, the only tier, that gets you the podcast. It's the unedited, weird version, probably a week before the full podcast releases. And on there, we'll post on there the games that are coming up, and we see if people notice our episodes have really long, silly names, and we like to let a Patreon name an episode if they want to, if they can throw stuff together for us to make a really long, silly name for an episode coming out, and we'll give the Patreon credit for naming the episode. I thought it'd be kind of fun and kind of funny, see what other people could come up with, because our names are just
ridiculous.
Part of the ridiculous gag that only me and Blake thinks is funny, probably. But yeah, that's what the Patreon is looking like now. If you want to take a look at it, I've updated it a little bit.
Okay, that sounds perfect. We also have a store where you can buy an assortment of different things with our logo on it. A glorious pair of underwear, some socks, beanie, koozie, a few other things. More recently too, we want to thank everyone who's been joining us on our Twitch. We've been doing a bunch of that lately, and if you tuned in last episode, you got to meet our third unofficial host, or third official host. Brian, thank you for being part of our co-op endeavors. And that is, I think we still stream that under the Two Smoke Controllers, but it has a ridiculously long name, which we got a kick out of that. Now, this is a little bit of self-promotion for me. I have a short story that I published a while back through Amazon called They Come This Night. It's free for anybody who has Kindle Unlimited. If you don't, it is just $1. Feel free to, buy that, read it, and, feel free to leave me a review or whatever saying I suck. And I also, more recently, we have a brother podcast called Action, the movie podcast, where me and our co-host Steve take turns throwing movies back at one another and not discussing it until we actually record. That seems to be pretty fun. We just put out a new episode of... No, we're going to record a new episode of that later this week.
One just came out last Sunday.
One just came out Sunday. Okay, my bad.
Last Sunday.
And the last but not least is right now, as you're listening to this preamble, there should be a bed of music. Feel free to, if you're someone who makes music, you can always email us at the number 2smokecontrollers@gmail.com, and you can give us a sample or something of the bed of music that we can play. Right now we have a toss-up between a gentleman, Skylar, and our friend Brandon Little. And you can find links to all of this in the show notes. Now, today's episode, it's been a minute since we've done one of these. It's kind of an essentially going to be an achievement episode. it didn't start out that way, because the 3 games that we're going to be covering, we all got because we were interested in them, expecting to get more out of them than they were, but it kind of turned out
we're just beating them for the achievements at a certain point. You're playing them, you're like, oh, I really don't enjoy this, but the game's not very long, so I'll just wrap up the achievements on this.
And we're doing them in order of enjoyment. Overall, sort of overall enjoyment. Definitely the least favorite first. No, that's kind of a toss-up between the other two. And at the end, because this might be a slightly more negative than we usually do, I have a TV show that we adore on the end to end on a high note. So, the first thing we're going to be diving... Do you have anything to add, Drew?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so the first thing we're going to be diving into, the first game, is called Stone. A hip-hop stoner noir. Stone originally came out January 27th, 2020. It is developed and published by Convict Games, and they've been around since 2017, so they're a fairly new baby. Now, much like a lot of these small companies, it was incredibly difficult to figure out the amount of people, so I'm going to ballpark it and say under 10, because I literally couldn't find one. It just says that they're a global team where they don't have an office. Everyone just works in a virtual space.
Yeah.
Thus far, they have made 2 games. This one, and then their follow-up game, which is called Burn. Now, Burn it's on Xbox. It came out 2022, and it is it's similar to this, where it's like a third-person kind of thing, but it's funny because we've talked about a similar subject. The whole point of it's a pop star on the rise, having dealt with a cult on the side. And I think we talked about a TV show starring Lily Rose Depp that was almost the exact same premise. But it was but it's weird that these two things exist concurrently but have nothing to do with one another.
Yeah. Because this Burn's not out yet. It's on TA, but there's no achievements or any art or anything. So
I think they're shooting for it to come out this year. Is what I think it was. And that's kind of it. They're a newbie company. Based off this one, they have a lot of ambition, but they still need a little work. I'll say that much. All right. So, you ready to dive into Stone?
Yeah, sure.
Let me preface this by saying I wanted to enjoy this game. Let me just say that. I wanted to. I watched the trailer. It looked great. I was like, oh, man.
We bought this at a little $5 price point based off of trailers. We did purchase this game. They got our money.
The trailer made it seem like it was going to be The Big Lebowski, but the detective story. And it ended up not being that as advertised. They call it a feature-length interactive game. And the game had fun music, some nice, dubstep electronica and some hip-hop. The game was entirely voice-acted, which wasn't awful. Mm-hmm. And I guess the art style wasn't bad either. But playing the game was clunky and annoying.
It wasn't interesting. You go into the main character.
Our main character is named Stone. And he is, basically it starts out, he is a hungover koala, and he is in search of his kidnapped lover. Everything's anthropomorphized. We have talking, like I said, koala, then we have crocodiles, parakeets, foxes, and wombats. There may be a few that I've missed, but that's what we're getting into, like a neo-noir, sort of serious, dark underbelly. So it sets a funny tone with a serious tone, and it was a little jarring.
Yeah, I don't think it really got the it didn't ever reach the noir feeling or the dark feeling, and it was never dark enough to try to. If it was going for that, like that kind of gritty detective thing, it never got there.
No.
But I'm wonder if it was even really trying to get there.
Maybe if you play the game and think of it as a parody of those, it might be a little more fun. But I don't know. The overall story was like the part that I found lacking. Because I don't want to spoil it for people who do want to play it necessarily, because it's.
I don't know if people are going to want to bother playing it. Honestly.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and full spoiler warning right now. If you don't want to know anything about this, go ahead and fast forward 5 minutes and pick up in our next game, probably. Because we won't talk about this very long. Because the reason I say that is because I got the 1K for this game in an hour and 2 minutes.
Hour and 2?
Mm-hmm.
Hour and 41. That's weird.
No, hold on. No, I got the 1K in 2 hours.
Exactly. So you're always higher than me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's an hour and 41 minutes for me.
But yeah, so basically you play it, and it's supposed to play the same length as you would do a movie. That's the reason they have it timed that way. The story, you wake up, it starts out as a kind of a cool mystery. You wake up and your house is thrashed, and your lover Alex is kidnapped. And then you start going through all these things, and you're kind of realizing, man, my character is horrible. He's just a bad human being. He never pays.
Bad koala.
Yeah, he's a bad koala. He's a bad drop bear. And he never pays for his drinks. He yells. He's high all the time. Like, he's just not a good person. And it culminates that your lover, Alex, he faked his own kidnapping just to get away from you. Because he just wanted to... He assumed that it would be too much work for you to look for him if he was kidnapped. And you finally do it, and he's like, it's because you're horrible. I hate you. And then he leaves. And so you're just left wanting in the end. You're just like, man, this is awful. The only redeeming factors at the end, your Stone, like he's at a bar again, one of the bars you frequent, and they're like, the usual. He's like, nah, just give me a cola or something. He's actually trying to be better at the end, but the whole thing was just a bit of a letdown. Like, it was a cool step in the right direction, but it was all these characters and all this fun. They need better writing. Now, like I said, there's a very small team. I guess 10. It might be less. This might be someone's first time writing something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I will play their next game cautiously. Like, I'll play it.
Yeah. But most of the stuff really is just like going from location to location. Like, where's Alex? It's just like that's most of the. Anybody seen Alex? It's just like that's like the whole game.
It will also, because we played through using a TA guide, so it kind of streamlined the process. They had built a pretty large area, and there's a few places that there's no need to go to as far as the achievement guide was concerned. Maybe you could world build in some of those places, but it didn't. Like I said, it was ambitious. The art was good. The music was good. The voice acting wasn't terrible by any means. Mm-hmm. It was the main function, though, was...
It's like everything, all the stuff that's good, they could trick you in a trailer into buying it. Like,
which they did for us. We bought it, it was on sale. We're like, oh, $5? Oh, what's your trailer? Oh, dude, that sounds great. It looks awesome. Let's play that. It'll be fun. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
I hate to crap all over the game. But I think it's really just the story. Everything else was wonderful. But the key element in a quote-unquote, this is their quote, a hip-hop stoner noir, needs to be the story.
Yeah. There's, since we're kind of doing an achievement episode, there's one time we had to, there's just one thing you have to make a choice and, load and do the other choice, which was kind of annoying. Soft touch and hard ass. It was try to friendly approach it first and try to tough approach. I think you do the tough approach first, and then he gets his butt kicked, and it goes back, and you got to do the nice choice or load your game or something like that, and do the nice choice. There's that one, which is typical of any game that has choice. Like, there's always an achievement. There's one way or the other. There is a order to white Russian like a dude. The dude.
Yeah.
So there's that one, of course. So Big Lebowski. Went to the cinema, which is weird. I guess you don't have to go to the. It's one of the things you talk about. You don't have to go to the movies.
Well, yeah. Well, the cool thing about that though is in the cinema they actually have some, what do you call it? Free source, open source, or public domain, I guess. Public domain movies and TV shows that play fully. Now, the problem is how they have it arranged is you're watching with a third person over Stone's shoulder in a movie theater, but you can still watch an entire like old school movie. There's like 6 or 8 choices to pick from. You can just watch that movie, in its entirety, which is kind of cool.
And then there's the one that the dumb achievement, I think. Dance to techno at Echo. Echo's as one of the bars.
Yeah.
You have to like stand still, and he'll start to like sway, I guess, to the music. You have to do that for like 10 minutes or something.
Well, you have to do it for a certain amount of time, but it says you can get it anytime you go in there. But I remember trying, like letting him dance for a couple minutes and then dance for a couple minutes, and it never worked.
Okay, so it's not a time-based thing. It's a random thing, which is annoying. So this achievement is for being in the Echo Club when there is techno music on. It's random what music will be playing. You can travel back and forth until it pops, or stop back in sometimes while you're playing through. So you're kind of just dropping in.
Oh, that's fun.
And hoping. You have to press a button for him to dance. So you press a button for him to dance. So it's about just finding the freaking correct music, which I don't remember how many tries it took me. But cause you go to Echo. I think Echo's where that crocodile is.
Yeah.
And you go there and talk to the crocodile a couple of times.
Yeah.
Most everything else is just finishing the different acts. There's something about drinking here. I don't know what that is. Drink all.
You drink every drink, probably at the bar, at the Parakeets bar, and at the techno joint. Make sure you drink one of every kind of drink or something.
No, it's after finishing the game and epilogue, go to the Smoky Possum and order a drink.
Oh. Game had potential, and that's all I'll say. Unfortunately, it didn't do what I wanted, and as advertised in that trailer was either, I don't know. It was a great trailer.
Yeah, I don't remember the trailer now. It's been a couple of years probably,
but not a super great game. Do you have anything else you want to add on that one, Drew?
It's been a little while since we played it. We kind of set it to the side because it would have, if it was good, it would have been on like a full episode with another pairing of another game if it was actually good. But we
waited for something like this to where a couple of these things to build up,
knock out in one episode. Yeah, looks like it's got like a, I don't know if it matters to anybody because that's got a 2.2 out of 5 on TA, so people just really kind of don't like it. I think I'll rate it as well. I think I'll give it a 1.5. I don't like it.
Alright, so the next game we'll be tackling had, again, quite a lot of potential. Then, personally for me, it falls a little short. Alright, the next game we'll be tackling is called 12 Minutes. Now, 12 Minutes is originally came out August 19th, 2021, and it is a solo developer, a single fella, Luis Antonio, or maybe Louis Antonio. My bad if I mispronounced it. Now, he is Portuguese, and this is his first game, but he has been in the video game business for a while. Primarily, I believe it was in the art department and art director. Some of his big things was he was the art director for The Witness. It's a pretty big puzzle game. And he was in the art department for Max Payne 3. He did stillboards and stuff like that and helped character design creatures and environments.
Creatures?
Not creatures. Well, you know what I mean. Well, whatever's like in your head, your visions. Not necessarily creatures, but he was also part of Magna Carta 2.
Random, he's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a fellow working, wherever they need him to go, freelance, and
I played Magna Carta 2 all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Part on TA. I think that was on Xbox.
And Manhunt. Yeah, Manhunt 2, which is also another. I think Manhunt's also a Rockstar property.
Keep going.
Oh, I thought you said.
I was looking at the Magna Carta. I don't understand this date. I guess January 2000, because I beat it on January 2nd, 2011. Yeah. It didn't track time back then.
Back then, yeah.
This came with an estimated 100 to 130 hours of completion time.
You didn't complete it, did you?
No way. I got 61% of the achievements. I did beat that game, though. It's got DLC. Anyway, so this is not the Magna Carta thing. But it's a random game.
Louis Antonio, like Portuguese, mostly, like I said, mostly art. He also was a playtester for What Happened to Edith Finch. So he's done playtesting and stuff too. So he's all over the place doing whatever's necessary
to work in the industry, I guess.
Basically, yes. Now, 12 Minutes is a, what do you call it? A real time.
Sort of. Before that, is this what's the company for this?
Him.
Just him?
Just Louis Antonio.
He didn't put a company out. He didn't attach a company name to it or nothing?
Just his name, Louis Antonio.
Ooh, that's pretentious.
It says it was published by Annapurna Interactive, but they do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, of course, he did everything, but he had a co-writer and a composer, but that tends to happen with everything. Because the way that it's designed is it's sort of like a movie, almost. It is a real-time... Is it point and click or click and drag?
What's the difference in that?
I don't know. But everything I look at, it calls it a click and drag and not a point and click. And maybe just a regional thing because he's Portuguese, maybe. I don't know. But basically, I guess it's the same thing. It's a real-time, point and click, top-down mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole game takes place in either a very small New York apartment or a library at someone's home.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those two locations. And the entire game is a series of literally the same 12 minutes repeated.
Mm-hmm. But you alter a little bit.
You slightly alter. And you're like, oh, how long could that be? 3 hours of 12-minute intervals.
Yeah, I did 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Mine was 3 hours of 12-minute intervals. Now, again, I don't know if this being this dude's first game, someone had some pulls somewhere. I'm guessing maybe his publisher they're pretty big, Annapurna. But this game is entirely voice acted with 3 pretty massive talents, frankly. We have characters such as husband, wife, and cop. That's what we got. So, husband is voiced by James McAvoy. For those who don't know James McAvoy, he's a badass. I mean, you got Wanted. He's Professor X in the prequel X-Men series. He is in so many things. Filth.
Filth, but most recently you saw him in Glass and
Split.
And Split, where he's the lead. He's the lead in Split. Actually owned that whole movie. So he's a pretty cool guy. He's voicing is a little more obscure, but he's voicing the audible version of the Sandman. He's voicing
Dream.
Morpheus. Yeah, he's dreaming. He's voicing the main character in that. So he's doing a lot of big things. I mean, that's just a small little chunk of what he's doing, really.
And everyone loves James McAvoy. Now, wife is voiced by Daisy Ridley. For those in the know, she's Rey Star Wars. She's Rey Skywalker. She's Rey from Star Wars.
She changes Skywalker?
At the end of the last one, she changed her name to Skywalker.
Oh god, that movie sucks so bad.
We're not going to do that.
We're not going to do the Star Wars right now.
She's also done a bunch of other things. I think she did a movie called Chaos Walking with Tom Holland that looks interesting. I'm willing to watch that. I ain't got around to it yet.
It didn't do very well either.
But anyway, Daisy Ridley, she's wonderful lady. I don't have really anything bad to say about her. I got bad things to say about Star Wars. Not her fault. She did the best she had with the writing she had. Anyway, I like her. She's fun. And now Cop is voiced by Willem Dafoe. Mm-hmm. And that's Willem Dafoe. The end. I don't have to say anything. Yeah. You got Boondock Saints. You got Green Goblin. You got Lighthouse. It's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he's been acting for 40 years, so... And he's a voice, too. Like, he's the standout voice for this, but just because of Willem. Willem has such a standout voice. So he stands out way more. Like, I didn't... Daisy, whatever, Ridley, I'm not a fan of her, so I don't, she's just a woman voice happening in the thing. Even McAvoy is kind of just a voice. You know, he doesn't have a standout voice either. He's a great actor on screen. I say about hiring famous people to do your games like that. Like, they don't always have a voice. But luckily Willem has a voice that you can know. Like, oh, that's freaking Willem Dafoe. Like,
he's all around encompassing.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the difference in people and stuff like that. Yeah, you could have been anybody, his husband and wife, and I wouldn't have mattered who it was to me because and there's other like miscellaneous actors. I think there's one other person you talk to, like Cop's daughter on the phone.
Yeah,
once or twice. I don't think that's not a major.
She was literally one of the people. She was like somebody. Wasn't anything huge. And I think Willem Dafoe voices someone's dad, but he tones it down a little bit. But a little bit. It's Willem Dafoe. It's hard for him to tone down.
Yeah, I thought it's confusing because it's Willem Dafoe again.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about that. Like, he plays a different character. But I was like, very confusing because it's Willem Dafoe again.
Yeah.
Is it not the same character?
It's not. I don't think it was.
Yeah. So you're working through the same 12 minutes, only slightly changing things. We did have a TA guide for this, kind of telling us, because you could do the loops forever. Like there's technically an ending, but you can kind of go back into it and just do the same 12 minutes over and over again, only just slightly altering different things you do to trigger different things to happen. So we had a guide to kind of like minimize the number of times we were running through these loops. I didn't take note of how many times I went through the loop, I don't think, but there is a point somewhere where I got kind of sick of it. That's the point where I just one night, I only played it in one night. I just about quit, and I was like, I'm kind of tired of this already. It was like the first hour probably, and I was like, I'm just gonna ride it out maybe, because I don't think it's not hard or anything. You just got to walk to a certain place and click on a certain thing. It's being under a timer a lot of the time, which is kind of annoying because the time, I think you can pause and the time stops. Yeah. But you got to go do very specific things in a very specific order to make things happen. I don't know how long people play this game to figure out these exact things to make these things trigger. That would be really obnoxious, to playing like 10 loops just to figure out one thing by accident. I can't imagine playing this without a guide. It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, I would have given
There's
up.
no way I would have played it all the way through without a guide.
Yeah. Random, like, he even, the character, the creator, says that he drew inspiration from a plethora of things, citing a couple of works, including Memento, Green Room, The Shining, and Filth. Filth actually being one of McAvoy's roles, so it's pretty cool that he got to have McAvoy voice in his video game. Yeah. Because it starts out kind of simple. It starts out kind of confusing from the get-go. You come home from work, and then a knock on the door, you're both killed immediately, and then your character wakes up outside this door, and you're like, uh-oh, what, huh? And it just starts there, and the mystery kind of builds, and it goes a bunch of different ways. Mm-hmm. And I won't spoil the story for this, because this is...
The final reveal's, I'm going to be honest, the final reveal is stupid.
A little bit.
It's just dumb. But, I don't know, I can't even say it's interesting. Like, otherwise this would be like a full episode if it was... Turns out it was actually kind of good and worth talking about, because I've heard other podcasts talk about this, and everybody's just kind of like, ooh. Yeah. It kind of sucks.
Well, I wish I liked it more.
Yeah. The idea, again, we're the same problem we run into a lot of games, and it's anybody thinks they can make a game, and but it takes good writing to make a game. And like Stone has really boring and whatever kind of terrible writing, and I just don't think the end goal for this and the writing of this throughout is just not. It's not compelling.
Not really, unfortunately.
Yeah. And repeating the same not compelling thing,
Over and
20
over.
times or
Yeah.
so. It's just not.
Again, maybe if we didn't have a guide and we were paying more attention.
I was paying. You have to pay attention. 'Cause
Yeah,
you got to go. You got to know when to move and where to go.
It's very precise.
And you hear it a bunch of times. It repeats itself a bunch of times. You hear the story over and over and over. So
I get 3 sort of things.
yeah.
Is the game was originally much more ambitious. He had it set for a 24-hour day but it was a 24-hour day within an entire city block. And that just became way too much for himself, I guess, so he toned it way, way back.
Yeah, way back.
Way back. Because that's what he wanted it to be.
I mean, you see about how much variance you could have in 12 minutes. I can't imagine trying to do a 24-hour day.
I would have quit.
I like how he didn't cut back to a 12-hour day. He cut back all the way back to a 12-minute
Yeah.
thing. Now, this is a pretty extreme 12 minutes at some points. So maybe it should have been like an hour, maybe.
Yeah, because sometimes that 12 minutes is so precise. I'd have been happy with 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Just give me a tiny little bit of wiggle room, but sometimes there is none.
Yeah. People talk about drugging your pregnant wife multiple times to get where you need to go. One of the steps is to get her like not in the room, so you drug her, and you find out. Well, I guess you don't always you find out pretty early that she is pregnant, but you don't always address it in every loop. But you do multiple times drug her to get her out of the way. So you are drugging a pregnant woman multiple times. People found that to be uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot that she was, but yeah, that's one of the big reviews.
She is pregnant. It's just like the main, like when you play through the straight through 12 minutes where nothing bad happens. Really, you just kind of find out you're pregnant. It's like yay, and then 12 minutes is over.
Or you don't even interact. I don't think you just let it play.
You kind of let it play out, yeah. Well, I don't remember, because you let it play out, then the cop shows up. Is that when he shows up? And so maybe there is no nice one, because he kind of just shows up. If you let it play out, he just shows up and he kills you both, doesn't he?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. The cop shows up. When the cop shows up, I don't know what minute he shows up. He shows up and he has a whole thing where apparently I won't say everything, but apparently he's there because she apparently killed her dad years ago and then ran away. So he's like tracked her down. There's more to it than that, as you come to find out. But like the reason the cop is showing up, so I'll tell you, is he's there to find her because she supposedly, quote unquote,
Killed her dad
and ran away from whatever city she was in. He's tracked her down. You'll get more into who he is and why he tracked her down specifically and why he cares so much as you play through it. That at least tells you why the cop shows up in every loop. So you do find, I said, you end up talking to his daughter on the phone. Mm-hmm. Cop's daughter. That is one way where the cop's in the house and you incapacitate the cop. I won't say how. It's part of the problem. So you do incapacitate the cop in one loop, and you're able to get his daughter's phone number out of his phone, and then you have to weirdly, at the beginning of a loop, you have to get into the closet by the front door, and inside the closet in a pocket in a jacket is a cell phone, and you use that cell phone to call his daughter to tell her to try to get his daughter to stop him from coming to the house or stop him from killing her buddy, or just a bunch of weird conversations you have with his daughter. And then and it triggers the scenes where you and your wife are arguing in the house, and you hear Willem come up the elevator, and his phone rings, and he's arguing with his daughter on the phone and stuff like that.
He gets him to go away, and then...
Yeah, so sometimes he gets him to go away. Sometimes he gets him to come inside, and he's even madder because you somehow got a hold of his daughter, which he is not...
He's not too keen on that.
Not even really worried about how you managed to get his home number or his daughter's cell phone, whatever you end up getting. It's very, very strange, just a couple things you do.
Now, there is there's a lot of creativity in it, but there are ways to end a loop prematurely.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Some of them are simple. It's just like, oh, let me turn around and walk out the door.
That's the most basic one. A lot of times the thing will be like, you've accomplished what you needed in this loop. Just walk out the front door to reset it. He'll say that. He'll say that in the guide. It's like, it's an easy way. There's other ways he says.
You want to talk about the other three?
Well, I don't remember all of them, but I remember the main one is that one of the main ones is that the cop has a gun in his pocket and you want to end the loop by just blowing your brains out.
Yeah, and your Mac or husband McAvoy, whichever, they do address that.
Yeah.
They're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It hurts every time. Because he has to. I mean, he has to feel the pain in order to die, in order to reset the loop and everything.
Yeah.
There's the gun one. Do you want to do the other one?
I don't remember what the other ones. I don't remember exactly.
Well, the other one is literally just let the loop play out. It's is bland, But the two ones, you have the gun one, and another one is you take a knife and you walk over to a faulty light switch and you just jam the knife into the light switch and you electrocute yourself to death.
Yeah.
That one's probably the most fun because when he wakes up, McAvoy's like, Jesus. He's like still like shaking from the electricity.
Yeah.
That one was pretty fun. So like
committing suicide to end the loop. Pretty dark, kind of funny.
Kind of fun. Now, we've spoken about this. That it's not awful. It just wasn't the type of thing for me. The repeating stuff gets a little boring because it's repetitive. And Drew said he's heard it on other podcasts where people were just kind of like, meh, I get it.
Yeah. When you culminate to the end, there's like a single big reveal, which we won't say here. The big reveal is just kind of like, oh,
that's
it's not worth the time I spent playing this.
Yeah,
not at all worth the time. And if you're kind of putting together some clues, there's some clues. It kind of like points you in that direction anyway. And I kind of called it a little bit before it's actually fully revealed. If you're putting together the clues, you're like, oh, if this is what this is, I'll be kind of let down. And then it is what it is, and you're like, oh, well, then I am just let down. This kind of just sucks.
Like I said, he drew loads of inspiration from all sorts of different things, which is pretty cool. And you can see them blatantly. Like I said earlier, happens like twice in the game. There's a walk from the elevator to your apartment, and most of the game's in the apartment. But the elevator to your apartment is a huge homage where he actually put in the carpet from the Shining Hotel. So
yeah, that's not that big a deal.
It's just kind of cool, though.
Yeah, because that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I did The Shining one time. You've never seen The Shining?
Still, I know of it. I know the carpet. Anyway, one incredibly huge person in video gaming actually had some incredible thing to say about 12 Minutes. He quoted, "I haven't been this into a game since I played Inside. Now it's got me thinking about a mystery of my own." That's the quote. And the quote came from Hideo Kojima. Mm-hmm. Which I can entirely see this being up his alleyway, considering the games and everything he does. And that's massive praise. Like, that guy could probably live the rest of his life on that single praise. Mm-hmm. The Hideo loved my game. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I love Hideo Kojima's stuff. Like I said before, we haven't talked about it on the podcast because Blake hasn't really played the game, but Death Stranding quickly became one of my top 5 games I've ever played in my life. I absolutely loved Death Stranding. It's actually the only that and like Metal Gear Solid 2, I think, are the only Hideo games I've played all the way from start to finish. But I absolutely love Death Stranding.
One rant, I didn't really get into it early because, like I said, this is it's coming out on everything. It's come out on Switch, Xbox, Windows, and all that stuff. But most recently, the version of it that's coming to mobile devices, iOS, Android, and so on and so forth, is actually being published by Netflix. Because this is one of the games that they've acquired since they're trying to do video games. They've acquired rights to this. And also in hopes of turning it into either a movie and or a miniseries, depending on what works best for the story to be told. That might be pretty good with the actual actors doing stuff as opposed to interacting. Mm-hmm. I may give it a watch, especially if they got everyone to come back. If they got Defoe, McAvoy, and...
It might be a better... Seeing McAvoy bounce around an apartment would be more entertaining than playing this game was.
It might be. So, kudos to the fella for getting praise from Kojima and possibly having a video game or movie / possible miniseries based off his work, having these 3 amazing people in it. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to add.
With Stone, we had bought the game. This was actually a Game Pass thing. It was leaving Game Pass, and I was aware of it and knew it was really short, so I was able to knock it out when it was leaving Game Pass. I don't know if it was a month or two ago. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't like it as much as Hideo, but to each their own.
Yeah. I almost quit it, so I really didn't like it that much at all.
If I didn't have a guide, I probably would have, because I definitely would have got stuck in some of these loops, because some of it is literally doing everything the exact same
And doing one thing differently.
and doing one thing different. Like, ooh, when you set the dinner table with your wife, you filled up both cups of water instead of just yours. Something like that. It's really vague, but that also, some people love that mystery. I'm not a huge fan of puzzles and puzzle games in general, and that's what all this is. That may have been why I didn't have as much enjoyment.
All right, so you want to go into the last game? You said we put them in order by enjoyment, maybe. I don't know if there is that much to enjoy about this particular game, the last game, but technically that's the way you worded it in the beginning.
Yeah. So our final game we'll be talking about is called One Night Stand, Console Edition. Because it originally came out mobilely and on, I guess, Steam probably, in 2016. And the console version came out 2019. The entire game, oddly enough, I didn't really mean for these two to line up, but it's cool that they did, is entirely done by one person. Using the moniker Kinmoku, which her real name is Lucy Blundell. Random side note, Kinmoku is the home planet for Sailor Moon. Anyway, let's move on to our next thing.
Speaking of Sailor Moon, it's funny you mentioned Sailor Moon. Recently announced Zyboid Games, who did Cosmic Star Heroine, which we've covered on the podcast.
Yeah.
They're releasing their next game is an RPG, like an RPG, done in the style of Sailor Moon people.
I'll play the hell out of that. I mean, Cosmic Star Heroine was fantastic.
Yeah.
What happened to Cthulhu Saves Christmas and stuff?
It didn't come to, I mean, it's not like PS4, probably. It's out. It's been out.
I know, but I was like, I hope it would come to Xbox. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I said that they announced it. I forgot what it's called. It was just announced this past weekend, I think. Anyway, it's not that podcast.
Mm-hmm. So, now, she, before doing this solo, she had actually worked 5 years at EA. So she's been in the business and she knows how it works. And she's worked for one of the worst things ever, which is EA.
Yeah.
So
EA is arguably the worst.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. So kind of a cool thing. She has 2 projects thus far. She has this One Night Stand. I guess 3 if you want to count the console version and the original release as 2 separate things. So her next title was actually called Memories, and it's recently been updated, and now it's called Videoverse, and she says it's roughly about 6 hours of gameplay, and that's if you do everything. If you just kind of go through, it's much shorter. Now it's of a similar style as One Night Stand, but she has another game she's currently working on, and it'll come out soon, so that's pretty cool. The development for the entirety of One Night Stand was only 24 days. She did the entire game in 24 days, which, considering that, I don't know how long it took me to beat it. I don't have that part for me.
It took me 1 hour and 39 minutes, so let's say it took you 2 hours, probably 2.5 hours.
Probably? Huh. I don't think it was taking time. It says between 1 and 2 hours, but I don't have a time on mine. We'll say 2 hours.
You got a time on yours?
Yeah, man, it's not telling me time.
Did you beat it?
I beat it, yeah, I got to 1,000. 100%ed it, so I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how long I beat it, probably about 2 hours. The game itself it's a visual novel point and click. That's really all there is to it. Now, one of the cool things about it is what she used, the technique she used for visually. She used a technique called rotoscoping, or rotoscopic, which is where she acted everything out and then she went back and drew over the acting in her own style. This can be seen in a plethora of things, tracing over motion picture footage. Anything such as like old school stuff like Popeye, Betty Boop, and the Snow White back in the day. They used this and then drew the stuff over it. But some bigger, more, I mean, you can't get more famous than Snow White, but some more recent iterations of this was the original heavy metal Titan AE, which was pretty big in the 2000s. And then a Scanner Darkly, which is probably one of the more recent ones, starring a huge cast of people.
Isn't there a new Amazon show that's using rotoscoping?
It might be, but I don't know off the top of my head.
I saw it. Oh god, I should have mentioned if I didn't know what it was called. But there's like an Amazon show that uses rotoscoping, I feel like.
Now, there's another one that I'm really... It's called Fire and Ice by Ralph Bakshi. And that is a cool fantasy thing. I bring that one up because... like a year ago, the director Robert Rodriguez had said that he was interested in remaking that movie, and that'd be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So this is a really cool technique that, and I mean, the art is probably one of the better.
You have to see it. Like I'll attach, like I do with all the games, I'll attach a trailer of the game to the show notes. You'll be able to click on it and see. It's the visuals is kind of what draws you into this game before anything. I mean, it really is just like I said, a kind of a talkie, making choices, kind of clicking around a room kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of the visuals and how the characters move, and just the way it looks is kind of what draws you into it.
It is cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And so, the game itself it's called One Night Stand. As you can tell, it's basically, oddly enough, almost like 12 minutes. It's the morning after.
Yeah. And
everything that your player character does in order to escape from the one night stand.
Yeah.
And now she says that some of these are her personal experiences and others are stories that her friends have told her, and she just kind of combined all these. There's about, I don't know, 12 maybe? There's a couple of different endings.
Yeah.
That you go through. Some of them are vastly different. Other ones are very close.
Yeah, I don't remember how many endings, or you keep on talking. I don't remember how many endings there were, though.
So the game itself got a whole bunch of play. Because it, how do you call it? Xbox has its own version of like, what do you call it? Like a beta version? The pre-production?
Beta?
No, for Xbox has that thing where they...
Oh, God. If you didn't ask me, I'd be able to tell you.
But anyway, regardless.
Early access or something?
Yeah, early access. There you go. So this was actually on something called Steam Greenlight.
Oh, we've mentioned Steam Greenlight on the podcast
a couple times. It got massive amount of attention through that, docking almost over 18 million views from a bunch of people doing Let's Play versions. And some of the biggest people were relatively famous YouTubers such as, what's his name, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie. Those were really massive. I don't know anything about YouTube.
They're all insanely obnoxious people.
Possibly. I don't know them in any way, shape, or form. I just know that those were the prominent names that it mentioned doing Let's Plays of this, and it kind of rocketed and got, real lots of play, which is what led to it getting the console version. So that's pretty cool. Again, each of these stories are not incredibly different, but they're different enough. Some of them are weird. Like one of the things is, I won't. It was the only one that stands out to me. It's the weirdest one. Was to make it out of the morning wearing the girl's underwear.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that was so important for that particular thing. It
could be a story that see all this, either her stories or her friend's stories. So some creepy dude
just wanted to get out wearing girl underpants. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny, and like the number one thing is the art style. That rotoscope is gorgeous. It's awesome to watch. That
this isn't voice acted, is it?
No, I don't think it was.
Mm-mm.
I don't think. I mean, it had audio cues and stuff like that, like her walking, closing the door. But I don't think there was any actual voice acting. I don't really have too much more to say about this. I mean, it's
just something that we like.
So we beat it in 2 hours.
So we beat it in 2 hours. We kind of there's not enough of it to talk about the whole thing. But I said this is the only thing that at the end I didn't hate.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I hated Stone. I more or less I didn't hate 12 minutes. I was just kind of like let down by 12 minutes. But when I finished all of this, there was no point during this when I was like halfway, because we had a guide for this as well, telling you which choices to make and to get to all the different endings and the various ways you make her mad or don't make her mad. There's just all the different things you have to do to get all the achievements. There's multiple different things you got to do. But at the end of this, or even halfway through, I was like, I'm sick of this. Whatever, I want this to be over with. So this is actually somewhat, except some of them are funny. I don't know. The writing seemed okay at the time. I don't remember all of it exactly. I wasn't like rolling my eyes at this game like I was the previous two.
It was. That's about, yeah. Unfortunately, I wish I had more to say about it other than the fact that I enjoyed my time with it. It was fun. I guess 2 hours, give or take-ish.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, there's like talking about how we acquired the games. This actually ended up on Games with Gold, I think, at some point.
Oh, really? Maybe, probably, possibly.
Or did we buy this?
We may have bought this because we saw that it was incredible. Like the TA was like under 1,100.
Maybe. Not sure. I feel like this ended up on Games with Gold at some point. Should have looked that up beforehand, but
we're very professional here at Lock, Stock, and Two Smoke Controllers. Very professional, and we know how to do things in an appropriately timed manner. While Drew's doing that, I will say some kind of cool notes. One Night Stand has done well enough to have a limited physical release, so that's pretty cool. Strictly only for the PS4 version though, so that's kind of strange. But
I always do that. I always snuff the Xbox and stuff like that. People act like Xbox is only for Call. Even still today, people act like Xbox is only for Call of Duty. Even with Phil Spencer doing all the work he's doing to literally put every Japanese RPG he can get his hands on onto the console and stuff like that. And people were talking about, they're buying Activision to get Call of Duty, and who's complaining? The PlayStation people.
Yeah.
Xbox is the Call of Duty console, but it's all the PlayStation people that are complaining about losing Call of Duty. If it's an Xbox thing, why do y'all care?
I don't know. It's silly.
Yeah. But anyway, this is a neat little game. I can't see anywhere. I don't know why I thought maybe it was on Games with Gold. Maybe we ended up, if we bought this, hooray. If we got it on Gold, hooray as well. But it's worth 2 hours of your time at least. It's the best, most enjoyable of the three of these. Just trying to find your way through the different ways and different things you do. So the point and click visual novels, not a whole lot to say. I hate that we say the least about the game we like the most.
Yeah.
It's ironic, we understand that, but it just kind of is what it is without going through every single day. The whole point of it is going through the different instances of trying to get away from that, get after the aftermath of a one night stand.
Now, while we've been doing this, I've been doing some live searching and actually found gamesbykimoko.com, which is her video game blog, where she kind of updates stuff periodically, which is where I found about the physical copy. But I'm reading about Videoverse, and just kind of some cool things about it to maybe hype up a little bit for those. I'm already interested in playing it, but it seems like it could be cool. It says she actually got lucky enough to get the composer Clark Aboud. He's the guy who's done he's composer for Slay the Spire. So that's actually I'm currently playing through that. It's a pretty cool little roguelike card-based thing. Now, the entirety of this Videoverse is actually pretty cool. She said it's roughly 6 hours with optional quests, branching narratives, and stuff like that. But the entire point of Videoverse is it's a narrative adventure game designed around empathy and inspired by the Miiverse. So you actually get to create your Mirrorverse character, which is a me, and you interact with people in like a online community setting, like AOL style, MSN style, and you go through people's lives and stuff like that and help. And she says it's a lot of fun, but it does go into some deeper, darker territories with disabilities, depression, neglect, but there is plenty of fun and silly moments, so that could be kind of fun.
Okay.
It says you even get to be able to customize your Videoverse avatar and stuff like that.
Only for being she'll be able to manage to put an online is it faking an online component, or if she's able to put in eventually to put in an
if
online,
she's doing it by herself, she might be faking one. But
yeah.
who knows?
We've seen that before though.
It could explode from there. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share that.
We'll play it. Is she talk about is she doing rotoscoping again or not?
It looks like it is. I have a trailer here. We can add. It's a teaser trailer, and it looks. Kind of looks more anime, in all honesty, but who knows? We'll see.
Maybe if I remember, I'll attach the trailer. You can send it to me, and I'll attach it to the show notes here.
Yeah. It says that it will launch on Steam and itch.io, itch.io, which is like a free. We've talked about it before and other things where they'll put games on there and just let people play them for free, and that's how they use it as a beta. It's free service for betas and stuff like that, so they can play test the game before full blown launching it. We've talked about it before, but anyway, I'm kind of ready to move on.
That's it. That's our games for this episode. Last thing we have, of course, is a TV show. A TV show. I don't know if it's the first one we've done that's still technically going. I feel like hopefully the next season might be the last season.
Here's hoping,
because the show might. I mean, it's been fantastic so far, we'll say, but hoping it's kind of finding an end point at some point, especially since some of the actors are moving on and doing other things. And so we'll see, and we'll talk about how we discovered the show as well. It's kind of a cool way to discover a show. It's a show I knew existed, but I had no intention of watching until a particular person's in this show that drew us to this show for the reason that you're going to hear about during this explanation.
Okay. So the show I'm going to be talking about is called Sex Education on Netflix. So it originally came out January 11th, 2019. It currently has 3 seasons of 24 episodes, and a 4th season has been announced and is currently being worked on. The series creator is a woman named Lori Nunn. Now, she has done mostly plays for this is her first TV show she's ever done, but she's mostly done plays, and she's incredibly a very good writer, because one of the first plays she ever did, called King Brown, was actually nominated for the Bruntwood Prize, which is actually a pretty awesome playwright thing in London. It's the biggest one of its kind, where it's completely anonymous. People literally, they take their names off stuff and they send in their playwrights. I think in 2021 it said they received over like 217,000 plays, and these people, this group of judges, I don't know, I think 12 or 20 of them, narrow it down to the top 15, and then they track down the people who did these 15, and then they interview them and ask them questions. But it basically, it's like a battle royale for playwrights, but it's only these 12 judges that read it anonymously. And unfortunately, she didn't win the first year, her first play, but it was shortlisted, which meant it was in the top 15 nominated for the prize. So that's pretty amazing. And her dad is a huge playwright in the London theater scene. So I thought that was all pretty cool about her. This being her first TV show, and then she's relatively knocked it out of the park. She said from the get-go, this is a British show. She's British. It's all British. Almost all the actors are British. But the entire point of the thing was it was an homage to her favorite movies growing up, which were John Hughes movies. 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, John Hughes. And to the point, she even modeled their version of high school after American high schools to make it more easily accessible for international audiences, specifically America, because of John Hughes. Because apparently, again, I don't know anything about it because I'm not from there, but this is nothing like British high schools. She did the televised drama where she had a bunch of the rugby players walk around in Letterman jackets and being jocks. Like,
all that's fake.
Apparently that's more for American audiences than it is over there as homage to John Hughes. Definitely, I can see the relation. I'm not going to get into this. Has a huge cast of characters that steadily grows from, like, first you're just like, okay, that's just one time character, but then that character appears in like every episode Like, basically every character you meet ends up being in every episode after they're introduced. So it's
Just about, yeah.
incredibly large cast.
Big ensemble cast. You'd kind of think that dude's the main character, but the cast is so big that he's not the main. We'll talk about here in a sec. He's not always the focal point of the storylines. So
I'm going to focus primarily on just the pilot. I don't want to talk about season 2 and introduce characters because that might spoil stuff for people. Our cast of characters follows Asa Butterfield, who plays Otis Milburn. His best friend, Eric Ifong, played by Shuti Gatwa. And then the rebellious teenager, Maeve Wiley, played by Emma Mackey. Dr. Jean Milburn, which is Otis's mother, played by Gillian Anderson. Wonderful Gillian Anderson. And then the school bully, Adam Groff, played by Connor Swindle. There's a lot of...
Without spoilers, it's funny to call him the school bully in the season 1.
Yeah, he is the school bully with the massive hog. Massive hog.
That's all that's talked about in the first season.
That's all. And I guess they sort of forgot about it, and then they reference it, they have to bring it back up in later seasons. Like, oh yeah, we established this real early on. We should...
We'll say it as a small... Not a spoiler, that he starts off as like I said, he's the school bully, somebody you don't like, and between season 2 and 3, like because my fiance's watching with us, like he becomes one of our favorite characters. He's so endearing,
yeah,
and he evolves a lot throughout the show. So he really just this jerk in the first season. It changes completely throughout the show, so it's really cool to watch his character evolve.
Some of the cool things about this is, let me dive into this real quick. So the character Connor, who plays Adam, Emma, who plays Maeve, and Shuti, who plays Eric, all incredibly small time. Like, this is some of their first stuff they've done. Mm-hmm. One randomly cool thing I found while doing research is all of them, Connor, Emma, and Shuti, though Connor and Emma's are undisclosed role, all 3 of them are going to be appearing in the Barbie movie, which I thought was kind of cool. Now,
we saw a picture of Shuti in the Barbie's clothes get up.
He will be playing one of the versions of Ken.
Yeah,
I think you have Ryan Gosling will be playing like the Caucasian Ken. Simu Lee, which was Shang-Chi, will be playing the Asian Ken.
So Shuti's probably African American.
Yeah, he'll be the African American Ken. So I thought that was African London, African British. I don't know how to. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, but the main reason we came to the show. Do you want to talk about this, Drew?
Yeah, we already mentioned him a couple of times. It's a show that I was already aware of, just didn't care, and the name kind of puts you off. Sex Education, it sounds generic, it sounds dumb. Don't let that name push you away from. Ironic, it's going to be kind of hyperbolic. One of the best shows I've seen in recent years.
It's very fun. So
talk about these games we talk about with the games with mediocre writing. This is the other end of the spectrum. This game has some of the best writing, some of the best characters, and just one of the best shows I've seen in a while. That's being hyperbolic as I can be, and I'm incredibly picky and stuff when it comes to just everything. I don't know if people who know me in real life and Blake knows and everything like that. If something has to be for me to say something has to be incredibly good. I'm not as easy as. Blake just loves stuff because he just likes loving stuff. I'm more of an ass about it. I'm just picky. But we came to this show because in the past year or so, Doctor Who fans, if you've been keeping track, Shuti, how'd you say his last name?
Gatwa.
Shuti Gatwa has been announced as our new Doctor, which is very, 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 very exciting. It was really cool. We had no idea who he was. We're coming off of Jodie Whittaker. And the showrunner is changing. It's all very exciting. Doctor Who stuff. One of the original showrunners is coming back. Russell T Davies is coming back to run the show again. So very, very exciting. And he goes and now Shuti wasn't just he went and picked him. Like he did interviews, but he specifically ran through a bunch of. Actually, he said Shuti was one of the last folks he saw. But as soon as he saw Shuti do his
thing.
What do you call it? Audition.
Yeah.
He was like, "That's my doctor." Like he didn't have to see him twice. He was like, he saw 20. You get
probably
to
more like
picking a doctor is very important in Europe. As soon as he saw Shuti, he was like, "Oh, this is my doctor. This is who I have to go with." So Shuti was picked immediately, and we've been we're like crap. We don't know him for anything like that, and it was like, but he was recently been attached to like the award-winning Sex Education. We're like, okay, what's that about? We should go. Let's go see what our new doctor.
See what we're getting into.
See what we're getting into, and it's been awesome. We're so glad that he has led us to this show. It makes it even more excited to be our next doctor, because he's an incredible. He's already showing an incredible range in this show.
Very much.
He's not just funny. He's not just loud. He's not just everything. He's just ups and downs and darks and highs and lows. It's just like he's already showing an amazing amount of range.
Yeah, in just 3 seasons, in just 24. It's just 24 episodes. That's it.
Yeah,
ranging from 45 minutes to an hour long, but still.
So thanks to Doctor Who, and then them picking Shuti, and then Shuti sending us to this amazing show that we've been raving about, in our little inner circle, and want to bring it up on here. Kind of would usually wait till a show was over with, but hell, we'll get you onto it now so you can catch up before season 4 comes out. Now, we say that we don't know if the show will be ending. We have no idea. There's been no announcement that this is the final season. That's not a thing. But we're wondering where Shuti fits in with becoming the next Doctor. Like Doctors run multiple seasons, so like, are they going to? You're in that weird bubble where like, do they write Eric out of season 4? Do they write Eric out of Sex Education, which would be sad, so he could become the next Doctor? Is that how these things work? Like, you're in a weird spot where you don't know where the real world kind of affects what's about to happen to your fantasy world.
Well, I also wonder if maybe it'll be kind of perfect
to have him like kind of run, like if season 4 is the last season, or if Eric's kind of like.
Well, I mean, kind of like time wise, because Netflix stuff is all filmed at once, because it all gets released at once, while the Doctor Who stuff is spaced out over the back half of the year. So maybe he spends summer doing Sex Education, and then the fall winter doing Doctor Who stuff. Maybe it'll work out kind of perfectly, and then won't have to actually. I
do know. I've seen that they've showed stills. Like Sex Education's filming, obviously, or has filmed, and we've seen lots of stills. We've seen nothing of Shuti in his Doctor getup. They always save that to reveal during the show,
because they ain't even. I don't think they've filmed the actual Regeneration special yet. It comes out.
They've been doing it like crazy. What do you think of all those pictures of Tennant and?
Yeah, true.
They've been posting that stuff, but nobody snuck any pictures of Shuti yet.
Yeah.
So apparently he had some say in his getup too. So we'll see
it'll be fun.
We'll see what it looks like. But it's all a very exciting time to bounce off this really good show, because Shuti won't be the Doctor until next year probably. Mm-hmm. The special won't come out until.
It'll be the New Year's. Christmas. It will be Christmas in the New Year.
Yeah, so it'll be a little bit before we get to see him as the Doctor, but it's coming up. It's going to be really, because this past couple of seasons of Doctor Who have not been good, no. Unfortunately.
Real quick, kind of glanced over them real quick early on, but we have Gillian Anderson, who plays Dr. Jean Milburn, who is Otis's mother.
Fantastic in this.
Yeah, those who don't know who Gillian Anderson is, she's Dana Scully from the X-Files. Mm-hmm. Period. I mean, she's done a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but that's like 10 years of her career.
Yeah. A couple of things that aren't X-Files and aren't kind of about... Because a lot of her things also had her playing Dana Scully and doing voice work in other TV. It's a huge part of her life. Anyway, some things that aren't that. Boatload of plays. There was a small window between 2000 and 2005 where she did no acting whatsoever, and I'll get to that in a minute. But she's done a boatload of stage plays. More recently, 2016, she has a book series that she co-writes called The Earth End Saga. It's a sci-fi thing, Earth ending, trying to find other places. It could be something worth looking into. She co-writes it, so that could be fun. One thing close to my heart is she does English voice work in Princess Mononoke as Maro, the mother of wolves. Mm-hmm. And she does a fantastic job in that. She more recently, besides Sex Education, she is media in American Gods. So she knocked that out of the park. But this is a kind of a cool thing. She, again, I don't know how she has time to do this with all the acting that she does too. But she is super huge into charities and starting foundations and stuff like that. a lot of children's rights, sex rights, and stuff like that. A lot of, which is kind of cool, kind of reflects her character, as well as animal rights and stuff like that. And two kind of cool things is one's called Say Yes, which is South African youth and sexual education, where she's trying to like she's gone out of her way to get in like South Africa, get like young adults, get them better educated in, you know, normal stuff as well as sex education. And because she has power, she's also been between this and another thing called it was like family lawyers, where people who can't afford lawyers but have been wronged, and she pays for the lawyers to like bring for the South Africa one to like one of them was a politician had like sexually molested a kid, and the kid couldn't do anything about it. Went to some people through the organization, not necessarily her, but through her organization, got lawyers and got the dude arrested and taken from office. Like, so that's, you know, pretty cool. She's helping people through all manner of different things. Now, the one biggest one that seems to be near and dear to her heart is something for neurofibromatosis, which she's been an activist in that since 1996, yeah. And been a outspoken person about it because her brother has it. Sad note, unfortunately, her brother passed due to it in 2011, but she's still very active in the community and all that stuff. So I don't know how she does she started all this and still it's mind blowing. I don't know how
she's in like every episode of Sex Education.
Yeah, I don't know how she sleeps, and not just Sex Education, all the movies and voice work and everything that she does. I don't know. I don't think she sleeps.
Hollywood folks, they just work.
She probably has people that work for her too, but not acting.
Yeah. Exactly.
So she's wonderful. I reading all this stuff about her. If I didn't already enjoy her, I was like, I love her even more now. She's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Now, Asa Butterfield, which is Otis Milburn, he has been acting since he was like 4. He's a really good actor. We got Ender's Game, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Hugo, as well as that he and a best friend of his do DJ. They do music and stuff like that. His brother and his dad have also put out a turn-based game on iPad called, oh God, I forgot to write that down. I can look that up later, but they put out a game. He's a young kid. He's like 24, and he's really big into video games. So there's a random thing where it gets brought up quite a bit, actually, where anytime Otis and Eric want to go hang out, they want to go play Super Smash Bros. Let's go back to your house and play Smash Bros. They bring it up quite a bit. Apparently, that is specifically for Asa, because Asa is a huge fan of the series, but has also been professionally competing since 2017. To the point, he was a part of 2 teams, one called Team Panda Global under the name the tag Stimpy. And then just recently, which is a very huge thing, called Team Liquid. And they're based out of, I think, the Netherlands. And it is apparently a really huge thing for him to be a part of that team, which I don't know anything about. Stuff like that, unfortunately. Hold on, pull it up. Team Liquid is a multi-regional professional esports organization based out of Netherlands. They've been around since 2000. And they have a team in everything, basically. Holy crap. I'm not going to go that whole list, but they're just professional. And he only does their Super Smash Bros. Stuff. I didn't see what character he plays. His main. Let's see if I can't find that real quick, because they didn't mention that in some of the stuff I read. Okay, here we go. Here's an IGN thing. What's his character? It doesn't say. I can't find his main character anywhere. It just says he plays Smash. And I should have did that research sooner, but oh well. Anyway, that'd be something cool to find. I can maybe figure out later. So I don't know how he does all this in his free time when he's not acting, but like he's also been some of these other people. It's their first role. He's been acting for the latter part of the last 15 years. So he's got time and money to do some of these side ventures, like play video games and make money off that as well. And we've talked about all this. We haven't actually talked about the actual concept of the show.
Yeah, it's a high school, like, it's weird. It's something I normally would hate. It's technically a high school drama, but it encompasses all their families and stuff too. There's lots of stories, like you said. His mom is an adult. She's a sex therapist. Adam's dad is the what do you call it? Headmaster of the school. There's lots of stuff with him and his family. So it ain't just focused on it ain't really all that focused on high school problems, weirdly enough. It's kind of goes back and forth. It's more about family dynamics and family drama, which is something I normally hate, but good writing can pull anything, make anything good. But it is what it is. It's more of like a high school family drama comedy. I've laughed really hard at this show.
Oh, yeah.
That's when he fell down the stairs, too. Kind of pull his pants up, fell down the stairs.
It was wonderful.
I was dying.
Okay, so just quick synopsis. We said earlier, Dr. Jean Milburn is a famed sex therapist. And her son, Otis, goes to a kind of a private school. And he has gone out of his way. No one at his school knows what his mom does. Period. He's just like the quiet, smart kid in the corner who doesn't draw any attention to himself. He doesn't really get bullied. He's just quiet and doesn't get any attention. And he finds out, again, first episode, he finds out through word of mouth, because it's a high school, so there's all sorts of like drama, word of mouth, and rumors, that the school bully, the Adam Groff with the huge hog, couldn't finish with his girlfriend. And he hears about it because in science class they're assigned to be partners, and they have to meet up at Otis's house, and Otis tries to avoid it at all costs. And he's like, we're not going to my house. My dad's headmaster, and I'm not letting you come into my house. And we're not going to the library because only losers go to the library. We'll go to your house where you do all the work, and I'll just sit there. And he's like, fine. And he gets there, and Adam finds out his mom's a sex therapist. And it explodes into a whole drama where he gets made fun of. Adam, again, being the bully, finds an old video of his mom showing people how to apply condoms and masturbate, and posts it on like easily accessible school website and stuff like that, and all these links. And eventually, so basically what happens is Otis eventually helps the bully get over his problem, and then one of the other school rebel, this Maeve Wiley, finds out that he was responsible for it, and she's like, you know what? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? We should go into business together. We should start an underground sex clinic for high school, and you take all the know-how you have from your mom and put it to use here. We'll pay people for it, and we'll start an underground sex clinic.
Pay them for it.
And that's kind of, it sounds silly and rushed, but there's so much layering between the characters. Yeah. It's such a wonderful show. That
particular play with them running the clinic is more of just like a under thing of everything else that's going on.
But it's the linchpin that holds everything together.
For like one season.
No, everything. Every episode, to the point, every episode starts, like the opening act starts with the situation, whether it be sex, making out, self-pleasure, or harassment. And that each episode is built off that, which again adds a new character to the roster of the school, of the overall, because every single character they deal with ends up sticking around for the rest of the show. They don't just kind of like pop in for an episode and you never see them again. Yeah. Everyone pops in and stays. And just the layered writing, and God, there was one thing I think early in season 3 where it was just a camera down a hallway, and it gave you a visual of all these characters, and it was basically this character looked at this character, and then they looked at someone else and looked at someone else, and it was just a back and forth, a bunch of looks, but no words were said. Yeah. And you're like, there was so much said.
So much said in that opening. Yeah, so much said in that scene where no words were said. It was really, it's hard to.
It was just it was portray it incredibly well done.
Yeah.
This show gets a lot of comparisons to an older movie from like 2000, I want to say 7, I think it was, called Charlie Bartlett. This movie stars Anton Yelchin and Robert Downey Jr.
R.I.P. Anton Yelchin.
True that. Robert Downey Jr. is, again, he's just a straight up therapist. And his son decides to open up a therapy session in the school's bathroom. And
Sounds exactly like
and
this.
takes his dad's notepad and writes prescriptions for kids and stuff for what they need. And it's almost the exact same thing, except for this primarily focuses on like sex.
Surely she's seen that movie.
I'm sure she has. But it gets a lot of comparisons, but this goes, that's a 90-minute romp, while this is so far 24 hours of many different characters and so on and so forth. So, wonderful show. I can't talk about it enough, and I really hope more people see it. And I am super excited to see Shuti Gatwa as our doctor. I'm curious to see what he brings.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to say, Drew?
No. If it says anything, like usually we burn through a movie or burn through a TV show in about 10 minutes or so. We just spoke about this for nearly 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to unfold there, and I didn't even go past the first episode.
Yeah, it's just the pilot, yeah.
I didn't even talk about some of the best characters.
There's other parts of the cast. You didn't mention, what's her, Amy?
Yeah, she's wonderful. Amy Lou Wood.
Yeah, whatever her, I don't know the actress's name.
Amy Lou Wood. Her character's name is Amy Gibbs.
Oh, she's Amy, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She says she has some of the funniest, she's like the most endearing,
she's
and,
the most
honest.
Innocent, I would think.
Innocent in a way.
Innocent or naive.
Innocent, yeah, 'cause she just like, there's no filter to what comes out of her mouth. She just says like whatever's in her brain just comes out of her mouth. And one of my favorite things, it's not nothing dirty or anything like that, but she was just like, Maeve was trying to figure out how they were getting to this place, and they're like, like, Amy, you've been there before. Like, how did you get there? And Amy goes, I don't know. I just arrive places most times.
I just arrive. I should have mentioned her. She's the girlfriend.
Oh, she's Adam's girlfriend.
Adam's girlfriend,
she's
the
girlfriend, yeah. In season 1.
At least.
She's funniest and most. She's like almost like always the innocent person in all the situations that she's in or around. She's like the innocent.
Well, because there's not a bad bone in her body.
Yeah.
She's just a sweetheart. She might be a little naive at times, but she's definitely.
She's naive and ignorant. I'm not gonna call her stupid. I think she's just ignorant because she has a super rich family, so she's been kind of pampered and stuff like that. Bit. Yeah, so she's just kind of just doesn't know a lot of things, but she's great.
She's there's not a character that I hate, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, even some characters you start out hating, you're just like we said, Adam, like, you hate him early on. He is just the bully. But then you see behind the scenes, you see his home life, you see all this other stuff, and you're just like, man.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Can't talk about it enough. Hope other people will watch it. Watch it right into us. Tell us about your favorite character, your favorite scene, or something like that. We'd like to hear it because there's so much show there. Oh
God, yes. There's so many characters I would love to see other people talk about. We can chit chat about this on any of our social groups, Discord or any of that.
Yep, it's all there for everybody to get into. With that, we're going to wrap this up. Like we said, we want to end it on a high note, on a fantastic TV show after talking about a bunch of maybe not great games. But that's just how we're going to end up doing it. That's just all I have to say. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank Jared of Emerge for letting us have a song to play as our intro, of course. I always want to mention that. It's really cool to have an actual band, a real band with a real song that we get to use for our podcast. And I want to thank previous guest now, Devious.Pixel, a.k.a. Mladen, for coming on the podcast and, talking with us on the podcast and, always supplying us with art for the podcast and our other podcast as well. It's been an awesome time having him around for so long. And that's really all I got. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll catch you again in a couple of weeks. Our next episode, if you're keeping track, will be a Gamefly episode. We're going to see what the past couple of Gamefly games that we didn't beat sent back are. We'll throw that episode together as well, and you'll see why we didn't beat a little handful of Gamefly games. That's all I got, and we'll see you next time.
And I want to wish everybody a good evening and good night.
Everything